Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, we have some developing news that's coming out of the swamp itself, Washington. Now, there's a lot of stuff that we're about to cover that doesn't make sense in the short term. The Democrats, Jamal Bowman, has put together a letter from the House aimed at Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell asking him to pass H.R. 8 and 1446. Now, if you guys recall, those were the gun control bills that were all about background checks and extended background checks, Charleston loophole, all that stuff. That was a year ago, and we assumed all dead. In fact, they even said it was dead. But there's a lot here. We've got to examine the why they would do this, because that's what we do on this channel. We get into their brains and understand what they're doing so we can get in front and make it happen on our end. Now, one thing I got to say before I dive into this too deeply, my channel experienced a anomaly last night. I lost 200 subscribers from the time I went to bed to the time I woke up. So just make sure that that pesky little algorithm hasn't made a mistake and unsubscribes you, so you're still there. Make sure that bell is on so you can get this freedom on the daily. And I know something happened similar on Jared's channel too, which is so odd on the same night, both things. But there's no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. So let's get into this, because I have got to show you what the Democrats are doing. And remember, the why. That's what we focus on. Why would they do this? Doesn't make sense, right? Okay. I've got everything linked in the description box below. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm going to read you a few snippets here, and then I'm going to explain to you why they would do this, because this is a long-term gain for a short-term loss. We write you urgently to rally your caucus to support common sense reforms that can directly stem the rise of gun violence we see in our communities across the country. As you know, the House passed the Bipartisan Background Check Act of 2021, H.R. 8, and the Enhanced Background Checks of H.R. 1446 on March 11, 2021, and both were received by the Senate that day. Okay, this was a year ago. Why would they send this out? Keep in mind, this whole thing, the why. Why would they send this letter to Senate Minority Leader McConnell 1 calendar year after these bills had been presumed non-effective and never even called to the floor for a vote, even though the majority leader who owns the Senate, the Democrats own the Senate, the House, and the presidency, the majority leader in the Senate never called it for a floor vote. In fact, to this day, they still have complete reins of power in Washington. Why would they do that and send this letter? They could just put the entire vote to the floor. In fact, Chuck Schumer said a vote is what we need. He's on camera saying it. Why? So the reason that they're doing this, they have really nothing against the Republicans in the midterms. And midterms are 6 months away. No Republican is going to do a controversial vote, or Democrat for that matter, 6 months away from the midterm when their entire party is prepping up and ramping and amping up across the nation to secure their spots for the next session. This doesn't make sense. Why would you send this? The reason is around why. Jamal Bowman is putting this out there as a bait trap. Okay, so he sends a letter that he knows nothing's going to come out of. Why would you do it to the Senate Minority Leader? Mitch McConnell is not stupid. You may think what you want to think, but he's not going to put this out there and let it go through, at least in my opinion, because it would be political suicide. So if the Democrats put forward this letter, they're beseeching the Republicans to act on something they know they're not going to act on. Well, then if they don't act, now they have something they can say in the midterms of, look, we even begged and tried to get them. It's not our fault that we didn't put it on the floor, even though we own the entire Senate and the House. I mean, Chuck Schumer would have, but it would have been failed. But even though he said he was going to, but he didn't. Do you see this? This is a political game. They're setting up a short-term loss and failure because they know nothing's going to happen to do a long-term play on gun control, gun violence, and the gun move in the midterms across the nation. This entire thing reeks of desperation because they don't have anything on the Republicans, so they're trying to set little bear traps for them. That's what this is. And I've got a extra little piece of goodness here because they think you're flat out stupid from this exact same letter. Let's see. During the pandemic, putting families and children in particular at risk. Amidst this boom in gun sales, nearly 30% of all firearm purchases in 2021 were made by first-time buyers, creating an estimated 5.4 million gun owners. Bam! Historically, new gun owners are more likely to have more haphazard gun safety practices in the home, leading to harmful and deadly accidents. So you're stupid. If you've never had a gun before, you're stupid. By the way, people who have guns are stupid because they have guns. So really, pretty much, any way you go, you're stupid. All right. And this last one right here. Moreover, the rise in first-time gun owners increases the likelihood of firearm theft that can contribute to the spike in violence. So if you buy a new gun, there's a chance that someone might steal it. And after they steal it, there's a chance it will increase violence. Do you smell the desperation? This entire letter is not going to have the intended effect in the short term. It is a bear trap. That is exactly what this is. And that's why we're covering it, because this reeks of desperation. We're going to hear more about gun violence, gun control, gun moves across the board in the midterms. But this is a really interesting move that they just pulled. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. I'm Braden. See you later.